So text 49, Sabya Vichara we have done, Viruddha we have done, Sat Pratipaksha we have done. Next Hitva Bhasa is Asiddha. Asad Hetu, another variety of Asad Hetu is Asiddha. So these terms like Paksha, Sadhya, Hetu, if someone is using a Paksha which is not known, or somebody is using a Hetu which is unknown, using a Sadhya, unknown. So, in such situations, the process of inference gets obstructed. And the ground on which they will be doing this will be a fallacious ground. From explanation it will be clear to you. Asiddha trividha, ashraya siddha, swarupa siddha, vyapyatva asiddha. आश्रया सिद्धो यथा गगनारविंदम सुरभि अरविंदत्वात् सरोजारविंदवत्. Now somebody is making this kind of a gaganaravindam surabhi, arvindatvat, sarojaravindavad. Aravinda means lotus. Gaganaravinda means sky lotus. So he says that Gaganaravinda is fragrant. Fragrant. Very good smell. Because it is lotus, because it is a lotus. Aravindatvat. Like the lotus in the pond, Saroja Aravindavat. Aravinda lotus which grows in pond. Saras is pond. That which is born there is Saroja and Aravinda. So a lotus which grows in the pond. You have taken the smell. Gaganaravinda also is like that. The sky lotus is also very fragrant. What is Paksha? So Gaganaravinda. What is sadhya? Huh? Suravi? Swarivitva. We learned something yesterday. Okay. And what is hetu? Aravindatva. And Suravitva is the sadhya. Suravitva is Saurava. Kundalitva, what is? Kundala. Danditva, Danda. Yesterday we did Vishishtat Bhava Pratyaha Visheshanam Avidhatte. So Saurava. Anyway, Suravitva. This is Paksha. This is Hetu. And this is Sadhya. Now, Aravindatva is the Hetu. It should be in Paksha, no? What is Paksha? Who has seen that? Does anybody know? Who has seen Gagana Aravinda? So, this is the Ashraya of Hetu. Ashraya means locus, dharmi, Paksha. So, Paksha is dharmi. Dharmi is adhara, ashraya. Ashraya is not known. So, ashraya asiddha. So, I cannot go any further now. So, pakshe sattvam, sapakshe sattvam, vipakshe asatvam. So, pakshe sattvam itself is known. And where the sadhya is to be established? In the paksha. So, when sadhya, paksha itself is not there, hetu does not exist there, how can sadhya going to be there? So, the ashraya, the adhara itself is not known. So, ashraya asiddha, unknown. So, such a ground which is going to establish the sadhya in a paksha which is not known. Such a hetu is a fallacious ground. And the name of such a hetu is asiddha, ashraya siddha. Atra Gaganarabindram ashraya. Here the Gaganaravinda is the ashraya. Such a nasti eva. That does not exist. So, ashraya is not known, unknown. So, you cannot initiate an inference on a paksha which is not known. So such a hetu will be defective. You can see the hetu gets defective. We are all asad hetu we are describing. So it is asad hetu because it exists. It is supposed to. It is being proposed as existing in something which does not exist, and therefore such a hetu is not sadhetu. Next variety is swarupa siddha. Swarupa siddho yatha shabdo gunaha chakshushatvat. Shabdah gunaha. Chakshushatvat. Paksha shabda. Hetu chakshushatva. Sadhya gunatva. Shabda is guna, no doubt. Is not so? In the list of 24, Shabda is there. It is a guna. Where does it exist? Akasha. It is a guna of Akasha. So it's a guna. So Shabda is guna. But on what ground he is giving? It is known by eyes. It is the object of a perception caused by eyes, generated by chakshurindriya. Chakshurindriya janya pratyaksha vishaya is shabda. Is it true? So a hetu, if had you said that ghata is a chakshusha, I understand. Ghata has got rupa. So chakshushatva in ghata is okay. But chakshushatva in shabda, is it known? So the very swarupa of hetu is not known. Hetu has a swarupa, no? Chakshushatva is the swarupa of hetu. Chakshusha means what? Chakshu indriya janya pratyaksha. Okay? And chaksh vishaya. So chakshushatva is okay here. It has rupa. Wherever there is rupa can be known by eyes, indriya. Shabda doesn't have rupa. It cannot be known by eyes. It is only known by shrotrendriya. So shrotrendriya janya pratyaksha vishaya can be shabda. Chakshurindriya janya pratyaksha vishaya, how can be? But that is the form of hetu you are giving. So hetu swarupa is not known. Earlier, where hetu will exist is not known. Ashraya asiddha. In earlier case, Gaganaravinda is the ashraya of hetu. That locus itself is not known. Here, locus is known. But the hetu swarupa that you are giving, that cannot exist here. Are you getting me? So therefore, this is a defective ground, fallacious ground. This ground will be called swarupa asiddha. Hetu swarupa asiddha. The very nature of hetu is not known. In this form, hetu you are presenting before me, this is not known. स्वरूपः सिद्धो यथा शब्दो गुणः चाक्षुषत्वात् अत्र चाक्षुषत्वं शब्दे नास्ति. So first you see, I cannot create false smoke and then say such a false smoke exists on the mountain and therefore there is fire on the mountain. So this is a false ground that you are creating, which is not known. Similarly, so shabde nasti. Why? Shabdasya shravanatvat. Because shabda can be only the object of a perception caused by shravanendriya. So shravana indriya janya pratyaksha vishayatva can be in shabda, but chakshurandriya janya pratyaksha vishayatva cannot be in shabda. So hetu swarupa is not known. So such a hetu is a asad hetu. Next one is sopadiko hetu vyapyatva siddha. This requires your full attention. A hetu which has upadhi. So everything has to be explained now. Sopadhikaha hetu vyapyatva siddha. So third variety of asiddha hetvabhasa is swarupa siddha and vyapyatva siddha. Vyapyatva siddha is to be understood in what way? That which has upadhi. What is upadhi? So, sopadhiko hetu vyapyatva siddha. Sopadhikaha hetu. What is vyapyatva siddha? A hetu which has upadhi. Sa upadhi, sopadhi. Upadhi, we will come to know everything. It's a technical term which is used. Now, upadhi is being explained. Sadhya vyapakatve sati. What is upadhi? Sadhya vyapakatve sati sadhana avyapakatvam. Upadhi. an upadhi, suppose X is upadhi. It should satisfy two conditions. It should have two properties. That is, it should be if X is the vyapaka of sadhya and if X is, so if X is the vyapaka of sadhya and X is not the vyapaka of sadhana. If these two conditions are fulfilled, then X is an upadhi. If X is the vyapaka of sadhya, sadhya vyapakatve sati, one condition, and sadhana abhyapakatvam is another condition. If these two conditions are fulfilled, then the X can be taken as upadhi. We will take a case, then to understand, we will understand better. One inference will help to take, then we will follow. So, sadhyasya vyapaka and sadhanasya abhyapaka. So, vyapaka is pervader. It pervades sadhya. It does not pervade sadhana. Sadhana is another name of hetu. So, how many names we got? Hetu, linga, sadhana. Huh? So, ground, reason. In the court, evidence, you can say. In a murder case, it will become evidence. On that basis, you will argue. Sadhya is known to you now. All the terms are known. Unknown was upadhi. And upadhi has been defined. And in the definition, sadhana term was not frequently used. It had been used now. So now you know, comfortable. So we know, whatever we know is already there. So we know sadhya, we know sadhana. We know hetu, we know sadhya. That's all. So in an inference, there is some problem. Actually, you have been observing that inference is working on the basis of what? Vyapti, no? And the hetu is leading you to sadhya jnana, anumiti. So, hetu is a bad hetu means it doesn't have vyapti. and consequently it does not lead you to anumiti. Hetu we need to establish sadhya. So sadhya jnana does not occur. Why it doesn't occur? Because the ground that I have chosen to know the sadhya is defective. Defective in the sense, in the technical sense, that it does not have vyapti. In other words, it does not have invariable concomitance with the sadhya. In simple language, you can put like only this way. Now, the idea of vyapaka and vyapya is presenting in a technical language now. The word that he has used, vyapaka and avyapaka, vyapaka and avyapaka, in the definition, he is putting it in a technical language that we are going to read next. साध्य व्यापकत्वे सति साधन अव्यापकत्व उपाधि. साध्य समानाधिकरण अत्यंताभाव अप्रतियोगित्वम साध्य व्यापकत्वम. Don't worry, every letter of it you will understand. He said that by sadhya vyapaka, what I mean is this. Sadhya samanadhikarana, sadhya samana adhikarana अत्यंताभाव अप्रतियोगित्वम. साध्य व्यापकत्व. He says by sadhya, two conditions are to be there, to be fulfilled, to identify upadhi. One is that it should be sadhya vyapaka. So by sadhya vyapaka, what I mean is this. Sadhya samana adhikarana atyanta apratiyogitvam. So that X, which I am going to identify as upadhi, that upadhi should be sadhya vyapaka. So that upadhi should not be the pratiyogi. That X, which I am going to choose as a upadhi, will not be the pratiyogi of atyanta bhava, which will exist in the locus of sadhya. You will understand, don't worry. So, sadhya adhikarana samana adhikarana atyanta bhava. let us, bit by bit, let us understand. So there is a locus, adhikarana, where sadhya and some atyanta bhava exists. Atyanta bhava of something. What atyanta bhava, you know? What is atyanta bhava? Abhava of something which exists somewhere. It exists here, its absence exists here. This abhava will be called atyanta bhava. All are looking blank. Why? Abhava category we have discussed. So abhava is first two categories. One is samsarga bhava and is anunya bhava. Samsarga bhava, three types: praga bhava, pradvamsa, and atyanta bhava. That atyanta bhava, right? Okay. That atyanta bhava example is what? Ghata bhava, pata bhava, any bhava, pushpa bhava, not khapushpa bhava. Because atyanta word is used, no? So people immediately bring khapushpa bhava. And I told you khapushpa bhava cannot be brought because khapushpa does not exist. So that abhava. So sadhya exists in some adhikarana. In the same adhikarana there is one abhava of something. That something is the pratyogi of this abhava. This much is clear? This pratyogi should not be sadhya. No, not correct. Did I say correctly? That X, which you are going to, X, which you are going to select as upadhi, that pratyogi should not be that. Where sadhya exists, in the same locus there is abhava exists. Let us say of something. Say ghata bhava exists. Any abhava exists. But does not exist abhava of that X, which I am going to identify as upadhi. If this is the fact, then the X will be called pervader of sadhya. Two conditions are required, no? To identify something as upadhi, that that X will be upadhi if it pervades sadhya. And does not pervade sadhana. Two conditions are required. Now this idea that it pervades sadhya is putting in this language. That it should not be the pratyogi. Should not be the pratyogi. Apratyogi, you see. It should not be the pratyogi of this atyanta bhava, which is existing with sadhya in the same locus. So sadhya samanadhikarana atyanta bhava apratyogi should be that upadhi. So I have something else, some else abhava I can take, but I should not take the abhava of that upadhi which I am going to identify. If this is true, then I can say that X is the pervader of sadhya. So one condition will be fulfilled. So if X is upadhi, then this upadhi is the pervader of sadhya. One clause. Pervader of sadhya means what? It should not be the pratyogi of some absence which is coexisting with sadhya. No. So exactly. So it should coexist. No. First don't go there. I mean, you try to first understand this is structure. So then, this dharma apratiyogitva should be there in the upadhi. What does it mean? That upadhi X should not be the pratyogi of this abhava, which is coexisting with sadhya. That atyanta bhava may of something else may coexist with sadhya, but atyanta bhava of that upadhi should not exist with this sadhya. So atyanta bhava of something else, so something else will be pratyogi. So absence of X should not be co-located with sadhya. Now you can say that the X should be here. If it is here, it cannot be pratyogi of that abhava. Because that abhava, so this abhava should not be the absence of X. This abhava should not be the absence of that X, which is upadhi. If this is so, then we can say that X pervades sadhya. This is the idea of sadhya vyapakatva, he is telling. So upadhi should be sadhya vyapaka, and next sadhana abhyapaka. Next, another condition required, that X should be abhyapaka of sadhana. And what is that abhyapaka of sadhana? Next line, sadhanavan nishtha atyantavhava pratiyogitvam sadhana vyapakatvam. So I am writing here, sadhana vannishtha. So let me break the sandhi. Sadhanavat nishtha atyantavhava Pratiyogitvam sadhana abhyapakatvam. So that X has to be the pervader of sadhya and X should not be the pervader of sadhana. Not pervader of sadhana, what does it mean? It means that sadhana vat is the locus adhikarana. So sadhana adhikarana nishtha atyanta bhava pratiyogitvam. So the test that X is a pervader of sadhana is this, that where sadhana will exist, in that there is an atyanta bhava of that X. So it becomes pratyogi of that abhava. Sadhanavannishta atyanta bhava pratyogitvam. So here the X is a pratyogi and here the X is not pratyogi. So here not so you have to atyanta bhava of something else, not of X, not of X. Not of X. Abhava of something else, ghatapata, but not of X. So X abhava does not exist here. If it is so, then this X will be called pervader of sadhya and X will be called non-pervader of sadhana. If these two conditions are fulfilled, then X can be chosen as upadhi. And wherever this upadhi will be found in the hetu, that hetu will be called sopadhika. And sopadhika hetu is vyapyatva asiddha. This is trying us to. So I think we are waiting for the example. That will solve all our tension. Yatha Parvato Dhumavan Vannimatva. So this idea that I was trying to take to you, that though you find this is a formulation of a concept. When a concept is proposed, the concept has to be formulated. And this is the method of Navyanyaya, to formulate a concept. So upadhi, 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 you say, if it is a technical concept, that it needs a technical formulation. So if X is a upadhi, if X is an upadhi, it should pervade sadhya and it should not pervade sadhana, in short. When it can pervade sadhya, if it if it is not the Pratiyogi of an absence which coexists with Sadhya, then means it pervades. So I can say yatra yatra sadhyam. Now we can see now. Your tensions will be over now. So yatra yatra sadhyam tatra tatra x. So what is the pervader and what is the pervaded? Sadhya is pervaded and x is the pervader. So yatra yatra sadhyam tatra tatra x. Not that tatra tatra absence of x. Had there been absence of x, then x would have been Pratiyogi of this abhava. So instead of calling tatra tatra x, he is formulating it that it is not the Pratiyogi. So of this absence, so you say something else. So sadhya exists, say ghatabhava exists, but not that x absence. Now x is what we are going to discover. We are in the journey. Okay? And it should not be the pervader of sadhana. That means I cannot say yatra yatra sadhanam tatra tatra x. So I can say yatra yatra sadhyam tatra tatra x, and I should say yatra yatra sadhanam tatra tatra no. If it is so, then x cannot be the pervader of sadhana. So this has been stated in this language that sadhana adhikarana there is an abhava, and it will be pratyogi of that abhava. Now we cannot resist the example. We are withholding. So now let me remove this. Let us skip this because we'll have to understand that. Provans means hetu, and provandum means adhya. It's a Latin term. Now, what is the case? Yatha parvatah dhoomavan. Dhoomavan bannimatvat. This is the case. Example. Someone is very enthusiastic that, okay, you have proved Parvataha Vanhiman Dhumat. I will prove Parvataha Dhumavan Vannimatva. Opposite is going to. No, Vannimatva he says. He says the Parvataha Vanniman. No, he says Parvata Dhumavan. The mountain has a smoke because it has fire. So he sees fire, maybe jwala, and he said there has to be smoke. That what is. So vannimatvad. So what is the paksha? Parvata. What is hetu? Vanni matva means vanni matva. Vanni. Kundalitva, kundala. Vanni matva, vanni. And sadhya. This is the case. पर्वतो धूमवान बन्हीमत्वात् इत्यत्र आर्द्र इंधन संयोग उपाधि. In this case, now why it is not leading me to the, now he tried but he fails. He wanted to establish Dhuma on the basis of Vanni, but he fails. The Nayayika is now pointing out why he failed. Because he used a hetu which is asad hetu. Obviously, Vanni hetu used is asad hetu. What kind of asad hetu is this? Vyapyatva asiddha. This hetu, Vanni, is a defective hetu, is a fallacious ground, not a good ground, bad ground. What is the badness in it? Badness in it is upadhi. What is that upadhi? That upadhi is ardra indhana sanyoga. Ardra indhana sanyoga. Ardra means wet, wet. Wet fuel contact. Ardrindhana Sanyoga. Now, if this is, so that is your X. This is the X. X, that is Upadhi. Now, you apply this formulation that it has two conditions or not. It should pervade the sadhya and should not pervade sadhana. What is sadhya here? Dhuma is sadhya. So you say yatra yatra dhuma tatra tatra ardra indhana sangi X. Is true or not? You see, smoke comes only when there is some watery portion. It is completely dry, free from zero water. Then smoke doesn't come. So to smoke to evolve, there should be some element of water, moisture. So when the Agni is in contact with Ardra Indhana, then smoke emerges. Is not so? So this is the reality. Okay? And therefore, he instead of choosing smoke, he should have chosen smoke. And then he would have gone to Vanni without any problem. But he has chosen the other one, the Vanni, and he wants to go to Dhuma. So this factor is called Upadhi, and that factor is affecting his ground, and so this ground is therefore is a faulty ground, bad ground, Asad Hetu, and that Asad Hetu is called Vyapyatva Asiddha Hetu. Now we will apply this now first. These two conditions apply. So yatra yatra sadhyam, yatra yatra dhumaha, tatra tatra ardhandana sanyogaha, tatra tatra ardhandana sanyoga abhava is not there. So if ardhandana sanyoga abhava is not there, then ardhandana sanyoga cannot be the pratiyogi. So it is apratiyogi. Apratiyogi. Ardhandana sanyoga, yes. Ardhandana sanyoga. So ardhandana sanyoga is a pervader of sadhya or not? What is sadhya? Dhuma. So dhuma is pervaded by ardra indhana sanyoga. Now what is sadhana? Vanni. Can I say yatra yatra vanni, tatra tatra ardhandana sanyoga? So then there is ardhandana sanyoga abhava. If there is ardhandana sanyoga abhava, what is the pratiyogi of this abhava? Ardhandana sanyoga itself. Pratiyogi. So ardhandana sanyoga is such an entity which pervades sadhya and which does not pervade sadhana. And because of that, ardhandana sanyoga can be chosen as the upadhi. And since vanni is associated with this upadhi, the vanni is called sopadhika. And hence the sopadhika hetu is called vyapyatva asiddha. Vyapyatva asiddha is the name of that dosha, dushta hetu. Okay? So vyapyatva siddha rupa hetvabhasa. What is vyapyatva siddha? Sopadhika. It has upadhi. What is upadhi? Ardrindhana sanyoga is upadhi. Why it is upadhi? Because it pervades sadhya and it does not pervade sadhana. And vanni is associated with this. So by mistake, he has chosen vanni as the hetu to establish dhuma. Huh? Yeah, okay, another thing. Wait. You see, it does not mean that only one dosha can be there. There can, in the 5 doshas, more than one dosha can also be there in the ground. It is not that a dushta hetu will carry only one dosha. A man can be a thief also and can have another vices also. So, because the doshas are remaining in the same locus, all doshas should not become one dosha. So, in as many doshas you can point out, yes, this is what the pleader will say. that it is suffering from this dosha. The ground that he is giving in the court, it from this angle, sir, this dosha is there. From another angle, another dosha is there. So let there be sabya vichara. That is a common. Possible. And we should be able to identify them. One thing, for you not to use them and to detect if somebody is using both the purpose. See? That is what was asked in the Vatsyayana Bhashya. That he has given a list of 16 padartha. Now you have sapta padartha here, no? 7 padarthas we are doing in Nyaya Vaisheshika. He is using 16 padartha. 16 padartha is not in the same sense. Padartha is, we are here. So, many things. Chala, jati, nigrahasthana. Okay? So, twisting the argument. Because your aim is to win, no? Jaya. So, to win, you can adopt any means. He has been asked that why Gautama should discuss all these things here. He should discuss good things, you know. The chala, asaduttaram jati. The wrong answer is called jati. He is discussing jati, he is discussing twisting the argument and all that. So why should he discuss all this in a darshana? Vatsyayana. Somebody might have asked, you know, when Gautama wrote the sutra, and then somebody might have put, somebody means it must be Buddhist. So the Buddhists are asking that, okay, good things you talk, why are the bad things also are discussing? Here is a darshana, no? So darshana should discuss good things. You are discussing chala, you are discussing jati, you are discussing nigrahasthana, this, that, so many. Hitva bhasa. Yes. Then he says that we should be grateful to the Rishi Gautama because he is so kind, as a matter of fact, that he presents the nature of these bad things before us. For which purpose? So that we can identify in order to avoid in using them. Number one. And when you are going for a debate, you should also be able to identify and point out so that unreality does not get established. Through this means, in an emotion of winning, anything gets established. So it should not happen, therefore, Gautama has also discussed all these things which you consider to be bad. It is bad for you because you should not use them. But you should know if somebody is using them. Vatsyayana has said. Yes. After Buddha. Buddha is 5th century. Vatsyayana is later. 5th century BC. So, in a very simple way now you think. When we were telling, yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vanhi. And so vanhi becomes the pervader of dhuma. Isn't it so? Yatra yatra vanhi nasti tatra tatra dhuma nasti. So dhuma bhava is the pervader of vanniya bhava. So when they are together, then only one can be vyapaka and other one is vyapya. And if there is an absence of one, then it cannot be called Vyapaka. So this is told in another language now. That if this is there, the other should not be the pratyogi of an abhava. Instead of saying that the other is there, he is telling that it should not be the pratyogi of its abhava. There. So they should be together. And then one can be Vyapaka, the other one is Vyapya. So yatra yatra dhuma, dhuma is sadhya. Tatra tatra ardhendana sangyoga. Isn't it so? So, to understand this concretely, you can think like this. Ardhendana sangyoga. Dhuma. Adhikarana. So you say yatra yatra dhuma tatra tatra banhi. So banhi was Vyapaka. Dhuma Vyapya. Instead of that I am saying yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra ardhendana sangyoga. Then what is Vyapaka? This is Vyapaka, this is Vyapya. And this is the sadhya, no? So sadhya Vyapaka. This way easily you understood. Isn't it so? Now what is the Vanni is sadhana. So Vanni and ardhendana sangyoga is it true? Yatra yatra vannehi tatra tatra ardhendana sangyoga. So when you say no, its abhava is here. So I can say yatra yatra vannehi tatra tatra abhava of. So this abhava exists here. This does not exist. If I say like this, so in bandhi adhikarana, this adhikarana, there is abhava ardhendana sangyoga. If abhava, then abhava has a pratyogi. Ghata bhava, what is the pratyogi? Ghata. Pata bhava, what is pratyogi? Pata. So ardhendana sangyoga abhava, what is the pratyogi of this abhava? Ardhendana sangyoga. So along with the sadhana, there is one abhava in the same locus. Ardhendana sangyoga is the pratyogi of this abhava. This is how is formulated, concept is formulated. And here you see, in the sadhya adhikarana, is there ardhendana sangyoga abhava? Then ardhendana sangyoga abhava should not be the pratyogi of such abhava. There may be some abhava. Don't worry. There may be many abhava, many things may be absent here. So say abhava of ghata. Abhava is here. The pratyogi of this abhava is ghata, not ardhendana sanyoga. So, how he formulated it now, you see? In the adhikarana of sadhya, there is an abhava. The upadhi should not be the pratyogi of this abhava. If it is true, then this will pervading this. In the adhikarana of dhuma, there may be an abhava. The pratyogi is something else, but not this. If not this, then it is apratyogi. So now you read this line. Sadhya samanadhikarana. You see, sadhya. Look here. Sadhya samanadhikarana atyantavhava apratyogi is sadhya vyapaka. And sadhanavat, now read next one. Sadhanavannishtha. So sadhana is this, sadhanavat is this adhikarana, nishtha, abhava, pratyogi. So sadhanavannishtha, abhava, pratyogitvam means sadhana abhyapakatvam. So this pervades this does not pervade this. So this is X, which pervades sadhya and does not pervade sadhana. Both are now true. So that X is what? Ardra Indhana Sanyoga. And this Ardha Indhana Sanyoga is the upadhi of the hetu which has been used by the person when he is saying there is smoke on the mountain because there is fire on the mountain. So the fire as the ground to claim that there is smoke on the mountain has one upadhi. And that upadhi is Ardra Indhana Sanyoga. Huh? This is explanation. But can you prove Dhuma on the basis of Vanni? Is it a sadhetu or not? Is it a sadhetu or asadhetu? Vanni. Is it a sadhetu? Asadhetu. Why it is asadhetu? Because the hetu is defective. What is the defect? It is associated with one upadhi. What is that upadhi? Ardhendana Sanyoga. Getting the argument? Now, little more about upadhi I should tell you.
So why specifically you are saying ardra because sometimes even dry leaves they give food.
Now, how do you know? Have you tested? Sometimes this is your observation. So observation, but it is not a chemical analysis. Some part of water is touch should be there. If it is waterless, then there will be no smoke. Now, so I hope you will have to read this 10 times at home. This portion, if you want to make it your own knowledge, then you have to read this portion 10 times, again and again, again and again, and draw the picture and understand. Draw the picture, understand. This method is helpful, no? This method. Otherwise, it is very difficult for you to understand. So use this method. Why it is he calls apratiyogi? Why he says it is pratiyogi? Read and draw. Read the sentence, draw the picture. Again you read like that. Keep on doing. And then why it is upadhi called upadhi? Why ardendana sangyoga is called upadhi? Where has he gone wrong? And for that, let us know something more about upadhi. It will also help you in reading Vedanta. Because the whole thing is upadhi. Upadhi vilasa. I say hot iron ball burns. Don't you say? Hot iron ball burns. So here you have said hot, no? But what is the subject of this verb? Can iron ball burn? No, now you concentrate on the sentence. And the English grammar, you use that. That what is the subject of this verb? This is a verb, burns. What is the subject of ball? Burns. Iron ball burns. Iron ball cannot burn. But hot iron ball can burn. What does it mean? It burns when you touch. When you say, so when you touch, of course, this is all. So there is fire. Fire burns. What is the reality? What is the reality? Fire burns. But I am saying iron ball burns. I am trying to make you understand the concept of upadhi. So I have started from here. So the dharma, burning capacity is where? In the fire. That is transformed to iron ball. The burning capacity is in the fire. And that has been shifted to iron ball. Is it not so? You analyze this. This is the fact. So, Vanni Vanni is Dahaka. So Dahakatva Dharma in Vanni is transferred to iron ball. So Vanni is Upadhi. Because this cannot burn. This cannot burn. It burns, this burning dharma, Dahakatva dharma, is not the dharma of this. This dharma has come from fire. So Vanni when they are in association, the Dahakatva, where does it exist? In Vanni. It has been shifted here in Ayapinda. And therefore you are calling hot iron ball burns. Now take another example, well known example. Japa Kusuma and Sphatika. Sphatika is a crystal. So it has Rakta Rupa. Where does Rakta Rupa exist? Japa Kusuma, what do you call in English? I don't know. A flower, red, various colors. I don't know the English word. It's quite big. Big. Jaswanti you call it. So Japa Kusuma has got red color. Say red color, Japa Kusuma. So the color is in Kusuma. But it appears where? In Sphatika. Is that so? So the dharma of this is appearing somewhere in the adjacent one. This has no color, but it is appearing, the color is appearing here. So this is called Upadhi. Upadhi. Because it is giving the color to Sphatika. So Japa Kusuma is the Upadhi. It is the locus of Rakta Rupa. But Rakta Rupa is appearing in Sphatika. Where from it is coming? It is coming from the flower. So, now I am doing this, you concentrate on this, no? So, this is the idea of Upadhi. So, some amount of falsity is involved in it, you can see. Vyapyatva siddha hetu has to be understood. It's a variety of asad hetu. How Vyapyatva siddhi has been explained? Sopadhika hetu. A hetu which has upadhi is a sopadhika. And a sopadhika hetu is called vyapyatva siddha hetu, bad ground. So we should understand upadhi or not. And the concept of upadhi has been formulated by the Nayayikas and presented to you. And they have identified that there is an upadhi with which Banni is associated. And what is that upadhi? Ardrindhana Sangyoga. So why Ardrindhana Sangyoga is a upadhi? This is what we are trying to understand. And we will be finally applying that to complete the understanding of Vyapyatva Siddhi. When you solve a mathematical problem, what you do? This bit you solve, that bit you solve, that bit, and then finally you bring them together and solve the final mathematics. Don't you do that? This is what it is. So, what is upadhi? Now we are trying to understand. Two examples I have given you. The term upadhi is being used in these cases. This is often quoted in Vedanta. I thought you will be very happy that you are coming to know something which will help you in knowing Vedanta. Huh? So, a dharma which is in the adjacent entity is transferred to the adjacent entity. Then that is called upadhi. It transfers is dharma because of the association. Huh? What is burning is the fire portion is burning, iron is not burning you. Dahakatva dharma is transferred to. Very difficult. A dharma which is somewhere else is appearing somewhere else. In both the cases. Dahakatva will never be present anywhere in ball. But because of that we are telling that ball is burning. So unless we shift dahakatva in ball, how can ball be the subject of burning? So some falsity is involved or not? No. The color is here, color is appearing here. You say, you yourself is seeing and saying that it is a red spatika. But the red color is not there. As the dahakatva was not there in ball, so also ray. So they are of the same power. That point you have to understand. I am driving you to that. Some dharma is located somewhere. but is appearing before me somewhere else. Both the examples are at par. Yeah. Think, only think is the answer, is the method. So, there is a definition of upadhi. The concept of upadhi which can be understood. And then we will, the case in question has been formulated by Navinayayika and I have explained to you. Now I am explaining the concept of upadhi in general. And then I will point out to you that why Ardhendana Sangyoga is treated as upadhi. Huh? So first you understand what is upadhi. Upahita. Very difficult, very difficult. For learning, I need 100% concentration on what I am telling. I will ask you to think later. Shrotavyaha. First lesson is what? Next is mantavya, no? Why are you running here and there? I am going to apply all these things for the case in question and to point out why it is called upadhi. So simply listen to me and try to understand that concept. You should also learn the method of learning from the tradition. Swasmin vartamanam vishesham swa sannihita sannihite vastuni aropayitum samartham. Vastu upadhi iti uchyate. So बन्ही तप बन्ही Dahakatva. Japa Kusuma. Spatika. Raktarupa. So see, now I'm applying now. This is the meaning. What is the meaning? Some property, Vishesha, some feature, some property, some dharma, Vishesha dharma, existing in itself, Swasmin. So let us translate that. A vastu, an entity, is called upadhi. Which entity is called upadhi? Which is capable of transferring, superimposing, swasmin vartaman, some dharma present in itself, in an entity adjacent to it. So Vanhi is capable of transferring its own property, namely Dahakatva, in Ayapinda, which is adjacent to it. Then that Vastu will be called Upadhi. Vanhi will be Upadhi. Swasmin in Vanhi, Vartamanam, Vishesha is Dahakatva. That Dahakatva is Aropayitum Samartha, is capable of transferring, superimposing on Ayapinda. Ayapinda, which is Swasannihita, adjacent to itself. Is it clear? So in the first case, Dahakatva, which is the dharma of Vanni, is superimposed in Ayapinda, iron ball. So what is Upadhi? Vanni is Upadhi. Okay? Number 2, Japa Kusuma is capable of transferring its Vishesha dharma, Rupa, in something adjacent to it, that is Spatika. What is Upadhi? Japa Kusuma is Upadhi. Is it clear? So this is the idea of Upadhi. So some kind of false is involved or not? Aropa. Something is superimposed on something which is not its locus. Dahakatva cannot be, is not the natural locus of Dahakatva is not Ayapinda. The natural locus of Rakta Rupa is not Spatika, but it appears there in Spatika. Iron ball burns. It's okay. This is the idea, concept of Upadhi. Concept of Upadhi. Now we have to apply this in the case of Ardhrindana Sangyoga. Yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra ardrindana sangyoga. Is true? So ardrindana sangyoga is a vyapaka. And what is vyapya? Dhuma is vyapya. Okay? So vyapti locus is where? Where is vyapti located? Dhuma is vyapya. So, what does it mean? Vyapti Vishishta, right? That means this. So Vyapti is the dharma of Dhuma. Is not so? Vyapti is the dharma of Dhuma. And you are saying that on the basis of Banhi, you are going to establish Dhuma. So you have shifted the Vyapti. So Dhuma Vyapti is shifted to Banhi. And how it happened? Because of Ardhendana Sangyoga. You see? So there is a Banhi and then is Indhana, Ardra Indhana Sangyoga. Actually, wherever there will be Ardhendana Sangyoga, there will be Dhuma. Remember, Dhuma will come out only when there is Ardhendana Sangyoga. Is not so? So Dhuma has Vyapti, Ardhendana Sangyoga. So actually Ardhendana Sangyoga has Vyapti. When fire is in contact with Ardhendana Sangyoga, then Dhuma emerges, no? And that is why Dhuma has Vyapti. But that is natural. Okay? Therefore I can say, Yatra Yatra Dhuma Tatra Tatra Vanni. Is true. So now let us put in this way. Ardhendana and Sangyoga with Banni. This is a Sangyoga with Banni. So it gives you Dhuma. This will give you Dhuma. So the Vyapti should be here. So this Vyapti should be here. This is a dharma. Yatra yatra ardhyana sangyoga tatra tatra dhuma. Is a product of that only, no? So this vyapti, which is the located here, is transferred here. Aropita here, falsely, as these two cases, they are all false now. This case is creating a problem, no? But you think very coolly that dahakatva locus is what? Ah. But you are telling that this is burning you. So it has come from somewhere else, you know. It has come from here to here or not? Is it a locus of this? Then is the ayapinda locus of dahakatva? Right, really? Once you accept also, still you do not accept. What kind of method is this? You are telling that dahakatva will be only in Vanni. But I am telling that ball is burning. So dahakatva now is appearing where? In ball. Is it the locus of dahakatva? So it has come from somewhere. Oh, that is what it is. Rupa appears here. It has come from somewhere. Dahakatva appears here. To come up from somewhere. That is why this is upadhi. This is upadhi. In the same way, think, huh? And you see, something happens when you grow, no? Then some kind of a rigidity comes in accepting. It is a manusya svabhava. Everybody, it will be also with me. But since I have a training of this kind, you know, I can immediately reflect. So that training you acquire. Once you have accepted that dahakatva is not the dharma of loha, but loha is performing the function of dahakatva. Where from this dharma came? Finished. Ardhendana Sangyoga is giving dhuma.
So where is the falseness? Because it is actually present. It is not the reflection or anything like that. The smoke is actually present. It is visible. That's it.
My God. Will you wait for some more time? Age is the factor. This is clear, no? That this dharma is here. That dharma is appearing where? Why? Why I say it is appearing here? Because you are telling what is your ground? What is your hetu? What is your hetu? You are not able to identify hetu also. So, And what is the sadhya? This is your claim, is not so? Your claim is that there is smoke on the mountain. And what kind of hetu you have given? Vanni. So if it is it a sadhetu or a sadhetu? Had it been a sadhetu, then what was expected here? You need to read this again and again, please. To make it a sadhetu, it should have vyapti. Sadhetu should have vyapti. It should be vyapya. So when you are going to claim that there is a dhuma, you are giving this ground, so you believe that there is a vyapti in vanni with dhuma, which is not the fact. Now you say it is a fact, you see, which is not a fact. So vanni does not have vyapti. Vanni does not have vyapti. Locus is where? Here. It doesn't have vyapti. But you are telling there is a vyapti. Falsity. You are claiming that there is a vyapti between vanni and dhuma. Because you are claiming there is a vyapti in vanni, you are using vanni as a ground to claim dhuma. But vyapti is not there. So as if there is vyapti. Is it clear? Yeah. So vyapti is the dharma somewhere. That dharma has come from somewhere to somewhere. And that Nyayika has pointed out. That it is because of this you are doing like this. So what is upadhi? Ardhendana sangyoga is upadhi. So ardhendana sangyoga is upadhi, and because of that you have made this anumana. Parvataha dhumavan vannimatva. So this is a false case. So hetu is which kind of hetu is it? Sadhetu or asadhetu? Asadhetu. What kind of asadhetu? So vyapyatva, analyze. Again, you see, everything has been taught, but there has to be organized way of understanding. It is in a stray. You have to organize them to understand. Now, vyapti vishishta. So I add tva. So I add tva. What should I get? Here vyapti. So vyapti vishishtatva. What should I get? Vishishtat bhava pratyaya visheshanam avadat. Yesterday only I told you this. Vyapti. So, vyapti asiddha. In vanni, vyapti is not there. So, in vanni, what is not there? Vyapti is not there. So, how can you establish dhuma from vanni? So, this hetu is suffering from the defect of vyapyatva asiddha. This is how we understand. This is how we have to understand. And this is how we have to make others to understand. That understanding will be permanent. no understanding takes place in a fish market. There is no fish market here in Calcutta it is. So any vegetable market. This is why I am advising you to go step by step by step by step by step. No jumping. Jumping means losing understanding. And once you understand this, you will never forget it. I hope I have made some advancement today. Now I can read it out without any problem. I hope. Now you see, all that I have said is written here. I am reading from Sopadhiko Hetu Vyapyatva Siddha, from there. So, Vyapyatva Siddha is what? Sopadhika Hetu. Hetu which has Upadhi. What is Upadhi? Sadhya Vyapakatve Sati Sadhana Abhyapakatvam Upadhi. So they provided you a formula to identify. Two conditions should be fulfilled. That will be Upadhi, which will pervade Sadhya and will not pervade Sadhana. Now what is this pervading of Sadhya and what is the not pervading of Sadhana? Next line. Sadhya Samanadhikarana Atyantabhava Apratiyogitvam Sadhya Vyapakatvam. So by Sadhya Vyapakatva we should understand this, that Upadhi is not the Pratiyogi of an Abhava which exists along with Sadhya. And then what is Sadhana Abhyapaka? That he explains. Sadhana Vannishtha Atyanta Bhava Pratiyogitvam Sadhana Abhyapakatvam. So that Upadhi is Sadhana Abhyapaka, which is the Pratiyogi of the Abhava, which exists along with Hetu. Okay. Yatha. Now applying in the case. Parvato Dhumavan Bannimatvad ityatra. In this case, Ardhendana Sangyoga is such Upadhi. Why? He applies himself. Yatra Dhumah Tatra Ardhendana Sangyoga. Is true or not? So it is the pervader of Sadhya. In this inference, what is Sadhya? Dhuma. So Yatra Dhumaha Tatra Ardhendana Sangyoga. So Ardhendana Sangyoga is Vyapaka of Dhuma. Dhuma is Sadhya. So Sadhya Vyapaka. Okay. So Yatra Dhumaha Tatra Ardhendana Sangyoga iti Sadhya Vyapakata. Yatra Vannehi Tatra Ardhendana Sangyogo Nasti. You see? For example, where Ayogolake, in a red or hot iron ball, Vanni is there, but Ardhendana Sangyoga is not there. Ardhendana Sangyoga Bhavat. Because there is no Ardhendana Sangyoga in the iron ball. Iti Sadhana Abhyapakata. So it does not pervade Sadhana. Sadhana is Vanni. Okay. Evam. So satisfied now. Both the conditions. Sadhya Vyapakatve Sati Sadhana Abhyapakatvat. Because of this reason, Ardhendana Sangyoga Upadhi. Ardhendana Sangyoga is called Upadhi. And Sopadhikatvat. Now Vanni has got this Upadhi. So Vanni is Sopadhika, Upadhi Vishishta. And therefore Vannimatvam Vyapyatva Siddham. So Vanni Hetu is Asad Hetu of the type Vyapyatva Siddha. But this does not explain all that I have explained. To make it understandable, I brought all this. And I hope some help has been created to you, given to you.